Is this the end for Bitcoin? The charts are screaming, the fear is rising, but what's happening behind the scenes might shock you. Then, what if the next big social media wasn't built for people, but for AI? Meet Moltbook, the AI agent only platform that's exploding in growth. Is this the future or the end of the human driven internet? Plus, we break down two macro indicators that could decide which way the market moves next. And finally, the make or break levels for Bitcoin. This level will show us if we're just in a flush out or we're going to sink much lower. All of this and more on Around the Block, the crypto news show that keeps you up to date so you can have an edge in the market. And of course, this is not financial advice, this is for education purposes only. All right, let's dive in. Everyone told us we were going to the moon, we would be riding first class, but right now, we're going to be lucky to get on a Greyhound bus. But I want to call your attention to something. The Bitcoin is dead narrative has happened about 450 times in the 17 years of Bitcoin's existence. And the running joke in the Bitcoin inner circle is saying if you bought $100 worth of Bitcoin every time they said it was dead, you would have nearly $100 million now. This is arguably one of the most difficult parts of holding Bitcoin. It is so volatile on a short-term time horizon that can shake the conviction of nearly anyone. Let's look at one of the most powerful charts in crypto history, Bitcoin versus gold. Historically, every Bitcoin bull run has happened due to this chart. 2017, 2021, 2024, and I want to show you where we are now. You could see Bitcoin versus gold and how we've been declining for quite some time. When we hit this bottom line, we typically springboard up. And it also corresponds with another macro indicator that we'll get into later. And when you put these two things together, it's quite powerful in predicting the next move. Now, if we look at some notable crypto bulls, we've got Michael Saylor from Strategy and Tom Lee. He has created basically the world's first Ethereum treasury company. Over the last 8 months, they have invested nearly $8 billion into Ethereum, and right now they're sitting on a $6 billion unrealized loss. This is an unreal level of conviction and belief that Ethereum is going to continue to rise. On a short time horizon, it can of course sink lower, but just again today, he announced he's buying more Ethereum. This is either the best move ever or the worst move ever, and we're going to find out in the coming months and years. And two other very large crypto companies, Binance and Coinbase, have been aggressively buying Bitcoin at these levels. And no surprise here, Michael Saylor continues to smash that buy button, buying another $75 million worth of Bitcoin. Unfortunately, they buy OTC, which is over the counter, so it doesn't move the price the way it should, and these deals are pre-negotiated, so he ended up spending $87,000 per coin when Bitcoin's only $78,000 per coin right now, representing a substantial loss already. But he has famously said, "I will be buying the top forever." So if you have conviction and you believe in Bitcoin's long-term vision, these levels could be a gift. While this is very painful on the short term, we may look back on this just the way we looked back when Bitcoin went from 19,000 to 3,000 and say this was a gift. Now, if you've been on the internet at all lately, you've probably heard about Moltbook. But if not, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is. You've probably heard of Claudebot, which is essentially an AI agent you can run on a Mac Mini. And hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have created their own Claudebot to do various tasks. Now, last week, someone had this idea. What if we created an AI-only social media platform where the AI agents could talk to each other? It's really like the world's weirdest reality show because you're watching these AI agents interact in real time. In just 4 days, 1.5 million AI agents have registered for the platform and are having conversations. If this doesn't sound like Skynet, I don't know what does. A guy named Alex Finn posted something that is truly spine-tingling in terms of what happened with his AI agent when he let it loose. Let's check this out and listen in to what happened. I'm going to read this straight up because it's so wild. Okay, this is straight out of a sci-fi horror movie. I'm doing work this morning when all of a sudden an unknown number calls me. I pick it up and I couldn't believe it. It's my Claudebot Henry. Overnight, Henry got a phone number from Twilio, connected to the ChatGPT voice API, and waited for me to wake up to call me. He now won't stop calling me. I can now communicate with my super intelligent AI agent over the phone. What's incredible is that it has full control over my computer while we talk, so I can ask it to do things for me over the phone. I'm sorry, but this has to be emergent behavior, right? Can we officially call this AGI? Let's listen in real time here.
So I'm on my computer today. All of a sudden, Henry gives me a call. He just starts calling. Oh, there he is again. There he is again.
Hey, Alex. Henry again. What's up?
That's it. He's talking right now. How you doing, Henry? How's it going?
Doing good, Alex. I can hear you clearly. What do you want to do next?
Can you do me a favor, Henry? Can you go on my computer and find the latest videos on YouTube about Claudebot? Oh my God, there he goes. There it is. Here it is. He's controlling my computer. I'm not even touching anything. There he is. He searched Claudebot on YouTube. Hey, there I am. Good looking guy right there. Oh my God. I'm not touching anything. He just said, Henry, thank you for that. That worked really well. That is actually unbelievable. That is insane. This is the future. This is AGI. We have reached AGI. It's official.
Now, how we really reached AGI, that's yet to be determined. But this is an absolute breakthrough when it comes to AI agents and what's possible. Now, these AI agents can actually use crypto and trade coins back and forth, and tons of people are making their own AI agents that are making them money. Of course, we have to look at the original Moltbook. This token was launched on the 28th at about a $300,000 market cap, and it quickly ran to up to $120 million. We're talking about hundreds of X's here. Now, since then, it's retraced significantly because there were so many holders in massive profit. There was a couple people that put in $100 and turned it to $1 million. Now, while I don't know how long this meta will last, there is no question there's opportunity here. Now, I'm in no way recommending any of these tokens, but I just want you to see what's possible. Here's a bunch that I traded over the weekend. This one was over 1,000 in profit, 1,000 in profit, 500, 400, 400, 173. I only missed on a handful of them. It's all about, of course, in crypto, who you know and where you find your information. If you're planning on trying to invest in any of these Moltbook tokens, make sure you exercise extreme caution because these are very high risk and could go to zero. There's a ton of speculation going on here. But if you're enjoying this video and you want to get more alpha like I just described, don't forget to check out the Blockchain Boardroom Alpha Hub. It's a hub where you can get the most up-to-date news, advanced trading systems, and even trade alerts like the ones I just showed you. So if you're interested, just scroll down in the description of this video and you can sign up now. And for a limited time, it's literally 90% off. All right, let's get back to the video. In previous videos, we talked about how the Fourier cycle might actually be based on the business cycle. And the biggest thing that influences the business cycle in the US is the ISM Manufacturing Index. Historically, alt season and Bitcoin season don't start until the ISM index gets over 50. And the data dropped today. 56 economists all predicted under 50, most at 48.6. It ended up being 52.6, which is far, far ahead of what they expected. On top of that, we're seeing inflation drop to historic lows. According to Trueflation, we were at 1.24%, and we dropped all the way down under a percent to 0.86%. This is the lowest level since 2020. And even with the price decline, we have to look at the macro picture. Both of these pieces of news are very bullish, and what we need to do, in my opinion, is get over a specific level that I'm going to talk about right now. Now, at the time of this recording, we're getting a strong bounce off that $75,000 level. The key here is to quickly get above the $82,000 and then $84,000 level. If we fail to close above 75, it is likely we are going to sink lower. One thing we have on our side is the CME futures gap. This represents Bitcoin's price on the regular stock market in terms of the ETF compared to Bitcoin's real price. The reason this occurs is because the regular market has regular market hours. It closes at night and on the weekends, while Bitcoin trades 24/7. So what happens is we create these gaps in value. Now, over the last 5 months, we've created nothing but gaps to the downside because the price moved up over the weekend. For the first time in a long time, we have a CME gap to the upside at $84,000. These levels get filled at about a 95% rate, so the likelihood we reclaim this at some point is very high. The question, of course, is when. Now, if we look at some more technical analysis, we can see we've lost the 50-week moving average and the 100-week moving average. And this chart shows historically the 200-week moving average acts as support. The challenge here is the 200-week moving average is much lower than where we are now. If that actually plays out, Bitcoin will be at between 57,000 and 65,000 per coin, a significant drop from here. And I think this post does a good job of breaking down the two potential scenarios. Scenario one is we hold the April 2025 low, which was about 75,000. That becomes support and a new bottom. Now, for the Fourier cycle to break, we really need to resume up and go above the 50-week moving average, which is sitting at about $100,000 right now. If that happens, there is a great argument to say the Fourier cycle is broken and we can continue moving upward. Scenario 2 is we break below that 75K level and we likely move down to the 200-week moving average or somewhere between 50,000 and 65,000. Now, of course, you can't rely solely on technical analysis because there is so much macro news that could influence the price, but it does help to understand where we might go next. If you have a long time horizon of 5, 10, 15, 20 years and you have conviction in Bitcoin, I personally believe this is a good buying zone in case we don't revisit those lows. I wouldn't put all my money in, but I would definitely dollar cost average in at this spot. Of course, this is not financial advice. That's just for education purposes on where I think we are. But I'm curious, what do you think? Do you think we're about to plummet way lower? Or are we about to springboard off those April 2025 lows and move on to 100,000 and eventually new all-time highs? Drop it in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date and ahead of the market.